because it was the perfect segue. It tests print concepts and conventions. So there's a book in the toolkit called Mandy's Garage Sale, but you could use any book, and you just give them the book and you ask a series of questions. Now, this isn't an original subtest. The idea was actually originated in New Zealand by a woman called Marie Clay, and I just modified it. Because you need to know whether the student knows concepts such as word and sentence if you're going to be teaching them, right? It tests phonemic awareness. And why do you think I've got the dog there with the big ears? It's not my dog. It's listening. Phonemic awareness, we sometimes get that mixed up with phonics, but phonemic awareness is all about the ability to perceive the sounds, the individual sounds and words. And sometimes beginning readers can perceive that, but sometimes they can't. So it's something that needs to be taught. So there's 2 subtests that test phonemic awareness. You show them a picture such as fire. You say, this is fire. What sound do you hear at the beginning of the word? So you see if they can say like that. A big part of Dala is looking at print-speech relationships. And the first test in the book is a screening test on environmental print, because this is their strength. So you want to start off with a user-friendly, easy test. And you just show them pictures from the environment, such as milk, and say, what is this word? And that's a screening test. If they get 20 out of 20, perfect score, then you'd probably move on to a different test. But if they got less than 20, then Dela's the test or the assessment for them. Then there's letter names, and that's that little card pack that's on your desk. You see if they shuffle the words and put them in 2 piles, and you see if they know the letter names. There's capital letters, small letters, and then there's 2 letters that have a funny serif, the G and the A, that little squiggly serif. Then there's the high-frequency words, because as you know, usually about 50% of the words in print are high-frequency words, so see if they know those. And then their phonics knowledge, to see if they can attach appropriate sounds to letters. So it looks at print-speech relationships, and it also looks at something called the alphabetic principle. And this is the one subtest where they actually get to do some writing, and it's real-life writing. We ask them to make a grocery list. And before students can learn phonics, they have to have an awareness that the sounds they hear map onto the letters that they see, and that's called the alphabetic principle. So you say to them, we're going to make a grocery list, write down 3 words that you want to buy at the store, and they write the 3 words, and then you dictate 7 more words to them. And you can see if they're drawing from their visual memory or from their alphabetic principle. So what's the first word on the list? Next one? And the next one? Good. But does that look like cereal or sound like cereal? No. So they're using their visual memory. But for most of them, they have a knowledge here of the alphabetic principle, which is good because the words are spelt like they sound. And then it looks at the functions of written language. So you start off by giving them an interview about their reading concepts. So what do you think a person does if they don't understand something, and just questions like that. And then there's something called text functions, which is one of my favorite ones. And they look at different pieces of text. They don't have to read it, but you say, which one would you take to the bank to cash, and things like that. So to see if they know the uses and purposes of text. And then the last one is literacy practices, where we did research on the most common literacy practices. And then we've got a photograph that illustrates the literacy practice. And then it might be someone reading a medicine bottle, and then we say, how well can you read a medicine bottle? And they point to a symbol. So that's it in a nutshell. There's 10 subtests. It's very flexible. You can use it with ESL students. They might have difficulty with the phonemic awareness test, and that's it. So what I'm going to do is show you a short video clip of the assessment tool being administered by Laurie Gould, who's works in Vancouver. So I escape, and I go to this, and then I go to enter, and then I push. Oh.
Beginning readers, and even adults who view themselves as non-readers, possess literacy knowledge and skills. They can read some words in the community, such as school bus, no smoking, and post office. As well, they can read high-frequency words, such as the, with, and it. They can recognize some letters in the alphabet. Beginning readers might have some phonics knowledge, which means they can understand the relationship between letters and spoken sounds. Writing is usually a challenge, but they can often write their name and address. This program features the assessment and instruction of beginning readers. Laurie uses the Diagnostic Adult Literacy Assessment for beginning readers to assess Frank's reading and writing skills. This assessment will help Laurie figure out Frank's strengths and limitations. This information can be used to plan Frank's lessons. Laurie wants to understand Frank's concepts about reading. Sometimes beginning readers have restricted notions about what it means to be a reader and how one learns to read. Their misconceptions about reading might hinder their ability to learn. Laurie asks Frank a series of questions about why and how people read.
What kinds of things would you like to read?
I want to read the words in the grocery stores, like the words on cereal boxes and soup cans. Sometimes I bring home the wrong stuff. Like last week, I picked up flour for sugar. It was the same color and everything. I got home and it was flour.
We can help you with grocery shopping. Are there other things that you'd like to be able to read?
Yeah, I want to read the labels. I need to know what I'm buying. My son's allergic to peanuts, and me, my doctor says I got to eat better. I can't take the salt because of my heart.
We can help you with the labels too. In fact, if you want, we can go grocery shopping with you.
Really?
Sure. Here's another question. In your opinion, why do most people read?
Because they want to figure things out, and they want to learn more.
When you're reading, what do you do when you come to a word you don't know?
Like when I'm buying food? I look at the picture. Some things don't have pictures, so I just try and sound them out.
Good, good. What do you think other people do when they come to a word they don't know?
I don't know. Maybe they sound it out?
Good, good.
Frank thinks that good readers sound out words. He needs to broaden his concept of reading and learn that good readers use a variety of strategies to decode words. For example, they use their background knowledge and context cues to predict unfamiliar words. The interview helps Laurie gain insight into Frank's awareness and knowledge of reading strategies.
Okay, one last question. What do you think people do when they read something and it doesn't make any sense?
They read it over again.
Good.
The screening test determines whether Dala is an appropriate assessment for the student. Frank is shown a set of photographs and asked to identify common words found in the environment.
We're going to read some words now. On this bottle, the word says aspirin. What does this say?
McDonald's.
Excellent. Please turn the page. Good. And what does this say?
School bus?
And this?
Stop.
Right.
After Frank has read the words in context, the words are presented again. But this time, the words are in isolation, without the visual and contextual cues.
All right now. Will you read this list of words for me, please?
School bus.
Good.
Stop. No smoking. Milk.
Frank was able to read the majority of the words, but did not receive a perfect score. If a student receives a perfect score on the screening test, you can administer a more suitable assessment. This subtest shows whether Frank is familiar with the uses and purposes of text. Laurie will show Frank samples of text used in different situations.
I'm going to show you 10 sets of pictures now, and I'll ask you one question for each set. On this page, which one of these can be cashed at a bank?
This one.
Good. Okay, which one of these three tells you the pizza prices?
This one. No. It's that one.
Right. Let's try another. Now, which one of these would tell you what day your birthday is on this year?
Sometimes Frank does not point to the correct answer. When this happens, Laurie acknowledges Frank's response and moves on to the next question.
Let's try the next page. Now, which one of these would tell you if you won the lottery? Yes.
Laurie records Frank's responses in the student record booklet. The booklet also provides space for recording observations about the student's performance. This subtest helps Laurie discover what Frank knows about print.
I'm going to ask you some questions about this book. Would you please show me the front of the book?
It's right here.
Good, good. And show me where the story begins.
I think it starts here.
That's it? And will you show me where the story ends, please?
Does it end here?
Yes, it does. Right. Where do I start reading on this page? Good. Now, use your finger and point to the first word I should read on this page.
This one.
Good. And then where do I read?
You just kind of move this way, and when the line stops, you go here.
Right.
Laurie will ask Frank more specific questions to see if he understands concepts such as letter, word, and sentence.
Okay. Use this pencil and draw a circle around one word on that page.
One word?
Mm-hmm. Good.
This subtest determines whether Frank can identify lowercase and uppercase letters.
This deck of cards contains the letters of the alphabet. Let's try one. What's the name of this letter?
B.
Good. Will you shuffle the cards, please? I'd like you to put the cards into two piles. If you can say the name of the letter on the card, put it into this pile. And if you need to learn how to say the letter, put it in this pile.
It's common practice for educators to teach the letters alphabetically. However, it's more efficient to focus on the letters that need to be learned. After Frank has sorted the cards, Laurie finds out what letters Frank needs to learn.
Good. Now please say the names of these letters.
W.
Mm-hmm.
J.
Good. Carry on.
E.
Laurie makes a note of the letters that Frank needs to learn. This subtest examines whether Frank is able to perceive the beginning sounds in spoken words.
We just did some work with letters. Now we're going to do some work with sounds. This is a picture of soup.
Yeah, okay.
And soup begins with S.
S.
That's the name of the letter, but the sound is S. Let's try another one. This is a picture of a mountain. Mountain begins with M. Repeat the word mountain.
Mountain.
What sound does mountain begin with?
Mountain. Mountain. M.
Yes, mountain begins with the letter M. That is the name of the letter. What sound goes with that letter?
M.
Good. Let's try some more.
Okay. Oh boy.
Don't worry. I will